Introduction. The techniques illustrated in this book and in others published open the way to a new type of astrology capable of finally explaining the root causes of events, and not just the immediate ones, as common astrology, both classical and modern, does. This extraordinary result is only possible through the careful study of the geometric patterns formed by fixed stars through various coordinate systems. For declination, we consider not only the current declination, but also the minimum and maximum declinations reached by the stars during their precessional cycle. See my ebook The Journey of the Stars. Tables of the minimum and maximum declinations of the stars in the current precessional cycle. It is advisable to first read the book Hermetic Astrology, in which some of the techniques applied here are explained in more detail. In my astrological practice, I have always been inspired by the ancient motto Vir sapiens dominabiter asteres, the wise men will rule over the stars. For me, the meticulous study of predictive techniques and the development of new and even more powerful techniques have always been subordinate to the possible elective use of these techniques, since knowing the future in advance is certainly not my primary aspiration. This is exactly the same method followed in this book, the first part of which is specifically dedicated to astrological healing techniques. The principles we derive from the natal charts examined represent equally great opportunities for the astrologer practicing election astrology who wishes to study and apply them intentionally. They have been drawn from the analysis of many cases of more or less miraculous healings. In the first part, all the techniques of stellar astrology are presented in simple terms and then applied in the following examples. In the second part, a miraculous healing is examined. I have chosen these examples because I believe it is essential to observe and imitate what the heavens themselves do when one of these miraculous or quasi-miraculous healings occurs. Our true and only teacher is, and should always be, the heavens alone. Through the examination of the harmful and beneficial potentialities of the natal chart in terms of health and the careful study of the solar returns under whose influence the illness arose and was resolved, these pages provide some valuable principles that the student can use effectively in elective astrology, in choosing the right moment to start a therapy, perform surgery and, above all, celebrate a ritual of astrological magic aimed at healing. In the second part of the book, these techniques of stellar astrology are used to investigate the secret behind an extraordinary destiny such as that of Elon Musk. Elon Musk's secret has its most remote origin in certain configurations formed by bright stars based on their extreme declinations, which today reappear in different forms. In addition, these stars formed some significant geometric patterns on the local horizon of Pretoria, his hometown, thus creating the conditions for this blast to give birth to a person who would be a direct manifestation of these stellar configurations. Among these patterns, the most powerful is undoubtedly the Star of David, six-pointed star. However, in the book we will also present many others that were present on the day of the magnate's birth. The fact that some of these stars coincide with his mother star or those of his manifestation constellation has made their effects on him as an individual even more powerful. This is the correct hierarchy of causes that must also be followed in natal astrology if one wishes to provide a complete explanation of exceptional destinies. Commonly practiced to simplify the astrology is unable to explain why a natal chart such as Elon Musk's has produced these effects compared to many others that are very similar but do not show all these peculiarities. This book allows the reader to retrace the secret genesis of Elon Musk's unusual destiny, starting from the most remote stellar causes and moving on to the natal chart and solar revolutions of individual years. Table of Contents. Part 1. Useful techniques in elective medical astrology. Technique 1. Anticia and other forms of equidistance between stars, and between planets and stars. Technique 2. The radical and long-term relationships that two or more stars form based on their extreme declinations. Technique 3. Some secrets regarding Purans. Technique 4. The antidote stars. Technique 5. Star progressions. Technique 6. The particular importance of certain phases or phenomena completed by the first or last star of a constellation. Technique 7. The activation of the minimum or maximum declination of some stars by other stars. Technique 8. Equatorial aspects. Technique 9. The maximum deviation of circumpolar or anti-circumpolar stars. Technique 10. Choose your healing tools based on aspects of benefic planets, including stars. Technique 11. Moving to intercept certain influences. Technique 12. A benefic planet at 0 degrees of its exaltation, or domicile. Technique 13. Selective uses of mutual reception between one benefic and another planet. Technique 14. Elective uses of mutual exilifol between a benefic and a malefic. Marie-Simon Pierre and the miraculous recovery from Parkinson's disease. The natal chart. The role of Antares in the natal chart. The Puran of Antares at the placent date of birth. The solar return of the diagnosis. The SR of recovery, 2005. The role of Cepheus in the recovery. How did the Puran of the planets contribute to the healing? The day of recovery, June 2nd 3, 2005. The syzygy preceding healing. The role of extreme declinations of stars and their references. The long-standing radical links between the bright stars of Gemini and Gamma Cephei, Rai. Radically relationships between Antares and the stars of Andromeda. All the Purans of Rai. How does the recovery SR activate these links between stars? Activations of stellar encadrements by extreme declination on the day of healing. The stars of healing in local space. In the healing SR we find Rai directly at the azimuth of the place, and therefore also at its maximum digression. The stars at the death of John Paul II. Synastry between John Paul II and Sister Marie. Part 2. Elon Musk's stellar secret. The stellar geometry is activated by the birth chart of Elon Musk. The Rigel Capella Sirius pattern. Sirius and natal Mercury. Local space relationships between Venus, Rigel, and Sirius. Elon Musk's 8-pointed star. Elon Musk's Star of David. The equidistances between stars activated by Elon Musk's natal sun. The sun in Elon Musk's Star of David. Configurations between planets based on altitude. Mare on Mercury and Sirius. Local space configurations between Sirius, Rigel, and Capella. Local space configurations between Sirius, Rigel, Capella, and the natal planets. Elon Musk's most generative and manifestation constellation. The Solar Revolution of 2024. Conclusion, Elon Musk Stellar Secret in Summary. Celestial Patterns, the new astrology of the fixed stars. You can find it on Amazon.